So today I want to review the novel Mexican White Boy by Matthew de la Pena. And so far it is my favorite book of the year. And after reading Midnight Cowboy, a James Leo Herlihy novel, the author of, no, he wrote Season of the Witch. I read Season of the Witch. Yeah, he wrote Midnight Cowboy. But after reading that long 400-page book, that was really overdone. I'm very happy that I read Mexican White Boy. And Mexican White Boy is a very, very important piece of fiction because it talks about the issues that biracial people struggle in America with. And that's not really that much talked about in this country. You know, like, for example, I'm 75% white, but I'm 25% African American. Through my entire life, I've been a nigger or an African American. Many people have called me a nigger to my face. Whereas in Mexican White Boy, if I was this kid named Danny, who's half Mexican and half white, but obviously, he is Mexican because of people's racism. Biracial people are the race of other people's choosing, which is an unfortunate stereotype within this country. Instead of just asking people like what their race is, but Danny is a kid in high school. He spends the summer with his family in National City. And that's in California, I believe. So what happens is like he's a really good baseball player, and he's kind of like not he's it's almost like when he actually like plays for teams, or when he takes like bets in the beginning. He used to be really bad because he would have so much stuff stuck in his mind, and what's really stuck on his mind is that he doesn't know who's his father, and at the end of the story he finds out his father's backstory, and he's kind of mentally blocked. Like, I call it mental constipation, where you are psychologically stuck, or you can't psychologically do the best you can be because there's something on your mind. And there's a lot of different themes in this, and I think that one big theme is the importance of the importance of a male figure, or the importance of a father and a man and a boy's life, especially if they're biracial, because there's a lot of times where there are biracial people, like in my case, who are adopted into a family of another race, or a white family in my case, and they don't have people like who have biologically created you to kind of give you advice in life. Like, so Danny really kind of struggles about like who he's supposed to be. Is he supposed to be more Mexican, or supposed to be more more white? And he struggles with that through the piece. And he's actually given a choice by his mother to either be with his mother's boyfriend and hang out in California with them, or actually spend time with his family and with his cousins and his uncles and his grandmother, who are more of a Mexican heritage. So he chooses to be around like the Mexicans, like people that he kind of more identifies with. But it's a hard thing that he navigates because he doesn't have his father in his life. And then the other thing is also just a lot of inner turmoil, and I think that that's very, very important because me being biracial, I really resonate with this book. In this book, like people say, why are you a Mexican that can't speak Spanish? I remember in high school people saying to me, what kind of black guy is into Pink Floyd? It's just to be in Biggie Smalls and stuff like that. What kind of black boy gets good grades? Most black people are failures. So I really kind of resonated with that. And I also will say that there are many times in this book where he deals with racism because he is because he looks Hispanic, because he looks Mexican. So towards the end of the book, his best friend Uno gets called Blackie. At the end of the book, he's also called a wetback by actually like a baseball team that actually wants to recruit him. So it's kind of interesting how we don't know what kind of happens to him. But that's also kind of a thing that happens to biracial people, is that people will see them as a token minority. They'll look at the race and the abilities, but they'll treat the person like a token minority. I'm a filmmaker in Connecticut, and I know what it's like to go to some film events and people say, what, it's great that Byron the black man is here. It's great that we got the black guy, the black person. It's great that the black man is showing up. And And once I get better skills, I know how they're going to use me. But I've also been in situations too in college, where I've gotten scholarships, but I've also had professors call me a nigger. I've had professors call me black boy or black student, or say things like, you need to work on your writing, so we need to put you in a remedial class. And a lot of people kind of say that it's because, I look African American, and their own like mental racism is that, the black person needs he needs to be of a low standard, or he needs to be in something that's kind of stereotypical for them. So, it's kind of been a deep struggle within my life, and I've kind of gotten that mental constipation because of the color of my skin. So I resonate with this book very deeply. And I hope for one day that people, along with Black Lives Matter, that people say, like, biracial people and multiracial people matter. They shouldn't pick or choose what their race is. People shouldn't say, well, you can't do this, so, you're weird because you don't befit these stereotypes and all that. So, that's very sad and unfortunate. But there's a lot of good character description. There's a lot of good talking about what characters dream of, what characters hope for, what characters are afraid of, how family members love each other, how people can forgive, how people can lie to prevent bigger problems, how people want to take accountability, how despicable characters can have some good things about them. And I think that's what I really like. And also, there's this character Uno and Danny, and they kind of just don't get along in the beginning, but Danny has the choice to kind of save Uno's life or not, and he chooses a choice, and it kind of just plays out in the rest of the book. So it kind of really just shows you, the power of the human heart a lot, and the power of people choosing to forgive or not forgive, and people choosing to solve things with violence, and people choosing to solve things by the Martin Luther King method of, forgiving and being understanding, and understanding that, violence is not the best thing. So there's a lot of themes within this book. It's one of the most beautiful books ever written. Citizen Kane, Giovanni's Room is one of the greatest, is my pick. It's my pick for the best novel ever written, but this is maybe my first place or second place. But, I definitely recommend Matthew de la Pena's Mexican White Boy, and I'm so inspired by this book and this piece of writing that I want to read everything that this guy has written. All right, that's all I gotta say. Very great. It's possibly his magna opus and one of the greatest books ever written.